In this video, I'm going to be showing you an example of how Married at First Sight experts in Australia actually held someone accountable for gaslighting. Take a look at this.
When I'm trying to communicate, you twist it all back around.
How is that?
He redirects conversations, he manipulates the situation, and then he starts making you second guess yourself on the truth that you know.
And there is the issue. And this is an observation that we've made and that we need to bring up. And this has got to do with a behaviour, James, which is classic, stereotypical gaslighting behaviour. And it's something that has to stop.
Okay guys, so you can see from this example that the maths experts were not having any of it when it came to gaslighting and the toxic manipulative behavior that they saw coming from this participant known as James. Now this is a great example because it shows you how experts should really tackle those things as they observe it, because 1, it's toxic, 2, it's manipulative, 3, it adds confusion and can really cause a lot of distress for the person going through it. What I really like is they then give him an example of how he's done this.
Now, what we mean by this is that when you try to have a conversation, you start to talk in circles. You start to deflect and dodge, put it back on to Joe. I mean, we got a close-up look at it last night because at the dinner party, we watched it for hours and hours. That behaviour is gaslighting, and it is toxic, and it hurts people that are close to you.
James, how does that sit with you?
Can you give me an example?
This is classic. When someone displays quite highly narcissistic traits, they're very defensive. They don't really ever want to answer the fact that they've done something wrong, or they don't want to really ever take accountability. And we see it again here with James. He refuses to actually acknowledge what the experts are saying.
I mean, one of the best examples that we can all go to was around the word frigid. You said that Belinda was frigid.
Statement.
Statement. You said, no, I never said that. What I said was a question. Are you frigid? And that's where you start to get into real problems. Because now you're getting caught on semantics and words and talking in circles and confusing people and essentially throwing it back at them. Instead of saying, yeah, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Now, the one thing I love about what we've seen in this example when it comes to gaslighting is the experts on Married at First Sight in Australia are very specific in actually breaking down what gaslighting is and how people often use confusion and circular statements and conversations to create confusion. Now, if you've checked out my video that I've done actually talking about this in detail, because Chris did a perfect example of creating this state of confusion when Dr. Viviana actually went to meet him and Paige at home. So make sure you check out this video here so you can see the full breakdown of how this took place and get my thoughts on it.
That's an example there of how you're getting into that toxic pattern. Can you see that? I'm not sure that it's ringing true with you.
Genuinely, sometimes I don't understand what Joe's wish is coming from.
Like, I don't know why he's still trying to point out all my faults instead of just admitting that we're both ups here.
All right.
Leave.
Now, this is classic again, and I love the fact that the maths experts literally said, this is the example, this is the danger or the impact of doing stuff like this. Now, what do you think? Now, what's your thoughts? And that is classic again of people who are quite narcissistic in their traits, or they actually use gaslighting. They are very deflective. They hardly ever want to answer a question or take accountability. So I'm really, really impressed just to see how the experts in Australia are doing it. But it's now left me feeling, why then is the Married at First Sight in Atlanta taken so long to really show us any real accountability where they've pinpointed behavior that Chris has done towards Paige? So again, I know that these are edited shows. I know that we don't get to see all the conversations that happen, but it has left me wondering, this is the example of how I would expect therapists or any experts to address controlling, manipulative, toxic, and even highly narcissistic traits in individuals, especially in an experiment like this. But yet we haven't really seen any of that happen so far from Pastor Cal, and really so far from Dr. Viviana. Now again, I'm still working my way through this season of Married at First Sight Atlanta, so I know that there's still a lot more for us to see, and I'm hopeful that during some of these further sit downs, we are going to see the experts really pinpoint the behaviors that Chris has displayed over the season that have been highly toxic, manipulative, controlling, and somewhat abusive.
I'm curious, you're admitting that it's a wrong choice of word. Why do you think it was a bad choice of word?
Because obviously it's offended Belinda.
Can you think of anyone who wouldn't be offended by the choice of word?
Yeah, but like I said, it was a poor choice of words.
Very poor choice of word, yeah. It's so outdated, it's so archaic, it's so prejudicial. It reeks of sexism and misogyny, and the fact that you even came to that word, I think, is very telling.
One of the Married at First experts in Australia actually was able to pinpoint the word frigid that James used towards another participant. Like, I really love the way that she was able to actually outline to him how inappropriate it is, but also the impact of that.
Do you even realize the impact and the negativity and how demeaning referring to a woman as frigid is?
100% I do. And I come from a family that's very female-dominated. I've got a lot of respect for females and their rights and what have you.
And again, it's holding people to a standard, holding people accountable. And that is what I feel is lacking somewhat in the Married at First Sight in Atlanta. We just aren't seeing these real, frank, direct, honest conversations from the experts with Chris. But again, the season hasn't finished, so I'm going to hold my reservations and judgments until the very end. But so far, we as the audience just have not seen it. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that like button and the subscribe and the bell so you never miss another video each and every time I upload. Take care guys, and God bless. Bye.